Okay, so I guess it's about time to give a rundown on what has actually gone into this over the last 3 years. We'll probably start at the bottom and work our way up. So most of the parts I've bought on Facebook Marketplace, used or second hand, and refurbished them. So we have some 17 Supermoto tyres there that I got second hand. Tidied them up, the wheels and the tyres, to make them obviously look immaculate as they do now. Put on some black spoke covers because I like the black look to go with the bike, and it makes them look a little bit thicker. Then we are on to a stock sprocket at the moment, but I do have different sizes that I've been testing. So that is a 48 on there. This particular swing arm is a stock swing arm that has been cut and lengthened to 200 millimeters, so one of a kind. Again, just like the first one I made. I made the first one in the world actually, but then everybody followed suit, but that was years ago now. And I also had to make up a custom chain guard there, because for road legalities you have to have a guard on there. And then we move up to the custom little mud guard that I put on there just to protect the shock. That's all aluminium as well. We have some Yamaha titanium pegs that I modified to suit, and they're also powder coated in the onyx black. The swing arm itself I painted in the glitter bomb 3-stage coating that one was. And the peg drop was the first obviously in the world as well, one-piece peg drop. A few companies also followed suit after that and started making one-piece peg drops, because the double ones with the spacers just look terrible. That motor there is a KO motor. I got that second hand as well, and yeah, I just debadged it because they just look tacky with the silly colours that they have, and yeah, I just didn't want it looking tacky. Then we move to the bash guard there. That is a 316 stainless steel bash guard. That is also the first one of its kind, as it comes with 2 seconds there. Mess that up. As it comes with a fan force cooling. That was originally designed for the stock motor, because I was running into heat issues with the power I was running. But now that is probably obsolete, because I haven't really had the heat issues. So I will probably be taking that out and putting it on a different build for the KX65, because that's going to be running over 20 kilowatts as well. And I'm just glad that I made this bash guard like that, because that's going to give me more room for the bigger motor that I'm going to get next when I eventually get one. So we'll turn that off. So then we'll move up to, we're still on the bottom here. So we've got the Boss Stoy Ideally Pro shocks, front forks, sorry. These are really rare. You will not come across them often in any country really, because they were like a limited production. But yeah, there's just the external canister on there, and just the look of them all together just really set it off for me and made me decide that that's what I wanted to run. So we'll come around to that side now, staying at the bottom so I don't forget everything. So they are 250mm rotors. I got them from ABMX. Not that I'm proud to say that, because I have my issues with them in the past, but yeah, the past in the past. I guess you got to move on at some point. I'm running Shimano Saint brakes there that I took off a mountain bike that I stripped down for parts, so that they're all used and refurbished and rebled and whatnot, but they had the gold bits on that I really needed, so I had to get them and collect them over the years. That is a Warp 9 stand. Then there is also the titanium Yamaha peg that side, powder coated. I'm just running the stock 2019 belt drive, seems to do me well. And then you come to the front, there's also a 220 rotor on there with the Saint as well. And yeah, they're pretty good. I need them at the moment, but it's probably still not enough for the power I'm running. So then the linkages, they're all shit. People snap them all the time. So I've made up my own stainless steel linkage because you just get more space. It's a little bit sleeker, not big and bulky and horrible. So that's what I did there. I just find it looks way better to me anyway. Yeah, so then this guard, obviously when you're running the crossover brace, you do not have a standard guard that fits, that looks cool, so I made one of them up from aluminium as well, and I powder coated that. I am running the old school Lightspeed. I've had that for years now. And it's doing really well. It was in really bad tune at the start from Lightspeed. Then I got A-Moto Bros to sort it out and it was smooth as. But then as soon as I wanted to run high power, it would cut out, as something with the A-Moto Bros tune just wasn't doing it for me. Especially when I put the kilo motor in. So I've just got the kilowatt app and I've tuned it myself now, and yeah, well, it's now the quickest surron in the world via the Draghi app and unit that you buy. So then we'll move along now to the subframe. So I wanted a lifted subframe because there's not enough space between the peg and the seat to be comfortable on these bikes. No matter what anybody tells you, it's just not. They're all right for tricks and stuff, but if you're going to ride it daily and you're a man, you probably need to have a decent gap there just to be comfortable. So yeah, now I went with this Cane Creek shock. This is a high-end shock. As you can see, it is all adjustable on the fly. I went with this shock because you can lock this shock out and adjust it. So I've set it up for drag at the moment. I won't get too much into it, but one day I'll make a post about how to set your bike up for drag racing. But it has got a descend, and then it's got a half lever, so you can let half of the pressure through and have a little bit of play, or you can just lock it out and it only moves maybe an inch or something just to absorb the bumps. So it works out sweet because I do have another battery pack that I run in here to give me a full 72 volt 80 AH for when I want to do some hectic runs in the future, but we'll get onto that when I get onto that. Then we come along. So this is a custom guard that I made for the BAC. The muffs in these are in the sides, people block them off, but that's when you start getting overheating issues. So I made it so it scoops the air in past to cool the muffs at the same time, and it all lines up perfect, as you can see, with everything that I've made millimeter perfect, as if it was bought like that from the factory. So that is what I had to do there to make it all look nice. So then we made a custom tail tidy that I made myself also, just in keep with making everything myself, saving money, keeping costs down. I bought a second-hand Luna seat off someone that was selling it. I made up the world's first lifted battery lid, and I also added a nut pad on there because when you're launching it, it's awesome to sit your nuts on there, and it's pretty comfortable when you're riding. We are also running a Draghi just for the speed tests there. My battery, many people said it was trash and junk and everything like that, but it's holding up exceptionally well, to the point where, well, I'm now the fastest, well, the quickest, sorry, surron in the world. So everybody who's the naysayers obviously don't really know what they're talking about. So don't always believe people just because they say what they say, because it's not always the truth. Now this was a standard enduro light plate that you buy, but I've chopped that up to a different size, modified it, wrapped it, and yeah, finished that off nicely. these are the Saint brakes. I've tidied them up somewhat and they just run amazing them. I went for recently just some gold grips. I am going to take that down a little bit because the colour doesn't really match. Then I went for some nice RHK buy-ins there just to finish off the look of the front end. In here we have the brake sensors. They are inline brake sensors for your hydraulic fluid, so you don't have to have cables running around everywhere that look like crap. Because especially with the road legal ones that I've got, you've already got enough cables everywhere, so you want to try and keep it nice and smick and clean. What else we got? Yeah, it's got the egg light on there. Don't really use it that much now because of the kilowatt app that's let me tune it. It's pretty amazing. And then bar wise, obviously I just didn't want to be standard like everybody else when you've built something that is so special, so I went for some dirty 35mm bars, not the standard like 31 point whatever it is, because it's a big bike, it's a man's bike, and I wanted it to be different. And then yeah, I went for a little riser clamp there. It's not a massive one, just a little one. Knocked up my own little spacer just to keep the pressure on there. I am going to be getting a steering stabilizer for high speeds, so I will mount that in and make up bracketry so I can run this nice little gold stabilizer that'll sit in there, and it will look epic when it's in. Basically I think that's about it. So yeah, it's running around about maximum hits 24 kilowatts at the minute, 330 amps peak, and pulls about 270 continuous. Oh yep, sorry, I missed something there. So in there is a jack shaft that I've modified. Took out the bearings in there, put in bearings, open ones, and put in my own nipple so I can feed grease in there regularly. I did have one in there from that AMXQ and it fucked my motor up, and everybody knows that it was shit, so he tried to blame me, but everybody knows it was him now that all theirs are fucked up. And what else? Oh yeah, so in my batteries I made up some dual QS8 cables, so that is a dual discharge, and when I put my second pack on, obviously you've got to have them both at the same charge. I just pull one of them out, plug it into my second pack, and then I have the full 72 volt 80Ah ready to do some high speed runs without getting that sag that you get. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that that's it now. Well, there you have it. One of a kind. Definitely one of a kind, because it's all been refurbished and all handmade by me. Surron. That is why it's at the top of the leaderboard. I'm not wanting to brag, but it is what it is, and it's took me 3 years to get there. Irrelevant of all the haters who say that it was shite. You're all proven wrong, because yeah, well, it's at the top, so yeah, suck a dick.